So this is the Leica M-D 262, and it's a digital camera with no screens, none at all. No, really, there's no hidden EVF or anything. This is literally the most analog digital camera ever. And in today's video, we are going to experience it together. So this camera came out in 2016. It has a 24 megapixel full frame sensor, and it's not only very, very rare, but it's also very, very expensive. This camera cost $8,500 today, still. I'd really like to thank my friend John for lending me this camera to play with for a few weeks. He lent me his M8 back when I made a review on that, and he recently picked this up and he was like, do you want to make a video on it? And yeah, I'm really, really grateful. So thank you, John. Be sure to check out his Instagram. I promise I've been very, very careful with it. Everything is as you gave it to me. Now, that is quite a lot of money for a camera, which is effectively just a Leica M262 with no screen. A camera which you can currently buy for literally half of what this MD costs. So if the images and the build aren't any different to a camera costing literally half as much, then where does that extra value come from? Well, depending on how you look at it, the experience is what makes it worth it.
Because this is all about the experience, I thought, why not come out to the beautiful Dandenong Ranges? So we're here in Olinda. It's bloody cold because it's the middle of winter and it's like 2 degrees right now, but we're gonna go for a little photo walk. Hopefully we have enough light, nice overcast. Thankfully it's not raining, which is good. But we've got the MD with us with the Thypox Samero 28-1.4. We're gonna go walk around, take some photos, talk about this camera. So obviously this doesn't have a screen or an EVF. So I have no idea if the photos that we take today are actually gonna be any good until we get home. So it'll be just like film. So let's hope that these photos turn out good, otherwise you'll probably not see this video. I actually did have a chance to shoot with this camera. I just sort of went and took a few photos around my neighborhood. And one thing I noticed was I think keeping it in the auto shutter priority is probably the best way to go. Trying out the Thypox Samero, which is probably one of the most beautiful lenses that I've ever actually seen. It looks absolutely stunning in the silver and black on this MD combo. So let's try and take some photos. Another thing I really like about this camera is it's got a really nice shutter sound. So the shutter sound is like really soft and quiet. So it's really nice and like stealthy, which is cool. And I guess as well, like we just had then a guy come up and he asked, he's like, what camera is that? I've never seen anything like that before. And he's like, oh, is this film? Is that a film camera? And I'm like, no, it's digital. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. He's like, wow, okay, that's really, really interesting. And it's one of those things which is like, if you want to be a little bit more under the radar, you don't want to stand out too much, something like this. I mean, I realize this is very expensive and most people are not going to buy a camera like this, but still cool. It's still cool to see what exists out there. Okay, we're gonna take a little break to go get some food from this place called Miss Marple's Tea Room, which is just across the road there. It's this really cool, like quaint English styled eatery. They make really, really good cottage pie. So let's go get some food, refuel, and then we'll go take some more photos. Let's go. So now we're at this lookout called Wri Lookout, and I was actually here probably about a year ago, but it's really, really pretty. As you can see, this is the Dandenong Ranges. So you've got lots of really beautiful trees in the background. I'm gonna take a few more photos with the MD, and we're also going to get out, I think we're gonna use a vintage lens and take some portraits as well of Rebecca, who is currently filming me right now. So let's go take some photos. Oh, I keep checking to see if there's like a screen, and there's actually no screen. So I do forget about that. So I'm actually unsure how these photos are even gonna turn out. I'm hoping they're gonna be good, but the experience of shooting with this is fun. Is it worth I think this is like an $8,000 camera. Is it worth that now? I don't know, it's up to you to decide, I guess. I personally think I would rather have an M262 and save a few grand and spend it on lenses, but it's definitely a very, very unique and very, very cool experience. I can tell you that for certain. And probably the closest thing you can get to shooting film, but digitally. It's actually their first screenless camera, I guess. They did release the M11D as well, which actually had like a fake shutter release lever as well. But this one's actually more analog than the M11D, than the M10D, sorry, because the M10D had Wi-Fi, so you can connect it to your phone. This has no Wi-Fi, no connectivity whatsoever. So you basically wait until you get home, pop that SD card in, and then you see whether you got photos that were in focus or well exposed, or if you have to go and do your trip all over again. So this is like the real purist hardcore, like, you know, this is probably the idea that Fuji wanted to do with the X Pro 3, and then it just obviously not done to such an extreme degree like they like Leica has done. But yeah, really beautifully made though. Such a gorgeous camera, all brass, and with the Samara on the front of it, it's like the most beautiful camera combination I think I've ever seen. Like, come on, look at this. How sexy is this camera? Like, let's be real.
Also, be sure to subscribe to see more great photography content.
I switched out to the Canon 51.4 LTM. This is a lens from 1959. I absolutely love this lens. It's really good for portraits. It's a little bit soft wide open, but it just has like a really cool sort of effect to it. So yeah, nice. There's a dog in the background. He's just yapping away. God, I really hope these turn out all right. Otherwise this will be a bit awkward. So the cool thing about this camera is that because there's no screen or anything, you wonder, okay, well, how do you adjust your settings? Well, you've just got your little LED display. It's got a meter and it's got the shots remaining, and it'll just show you like the selected shutter speed when you're in auto as well. So very, very Spartan. There's a reason this battery lasts so bloody long. It's because there's absolutely no screens inside of it. Wow. Let me get that magpie. Is he gonna be, oh, he's moving. That's a 2.0. I have no idea if that's gonna be in focus. We'll find out. There is something so nice about using a rangefinder camera to shoot with. I think this shot would look really cool with the 28 though. Hang on, let me go get it. One sec. All right, let's do this. Come a bit closer to me. Try at 1.4. The lighting is not very good, but try and maybe stand this way. Yeah, stand that way so the light's a bit better. There we go. Nice, go. Yeah, nice. You cold?
Crazy.
Alright. I feel like the 50 will probably be a better option for this, but can't be bothered getting it. Oh, all right. Yeah, it's a beautiful area. Beautiful area for a very beautiful camera. So this area is actually really popular. There's a lot of really nice cottages around here. We actually stayed in one last year. It was very nice. No longer available this year, unfortunately, but lots of really beautiful, lush greenery around. So yeah, we can take some more photos. This is like my first real sort of shakedown with this Cypoxo mirror lens. So I'm looking forward to making a review on it in maybe about a month or so, and I've got a bit more time to try it out. But so far, first impression is very, very good. This lens is built absolutely incredibly. These cabins over here as well.
I think they're toilets.
Are they toilets?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Okay, well, I like the toilets over there. There's a man with a dog coming up right now. Very, very nice fluffy dog. All right, ready? Let's see if we can get him in the background of this shot. Maybe whack it up to 400 ISO. See what it looks like at 400 ISO. Oh, that dog is in the background, but it looks good. Beautiful. That's probably not going to be in focus. That was an f2, but it's all right. Taking portraits with a rangefinder is a little bit difficult because you have to focus in the middle and then you have to go up. So not great, but oh, I kind of like this. One thing I will say I don't like about this lens is it's got an infinity lock, which pisses me off. I get it's meant to look vintage, but I don't like it. I do not like that bit about it. Let's go 5.6. Beautiful. I will say, there is something kind of freeing about just sort of taking photos and being like, yeah, maybe they'll turn out good, maybe they won't, who knows. So I'm really, really keen to go home and check out these photos, and hopefully this video turns out alright, because this is sort of my first attempt at doing something like this. So if you guys like it, I'll definitely be sure to make more of it in the future. The sun is starting to set a little bit, and we've got some really beautiful light coming in. So it's also a nice tree over here as well. I'm gonna take a photo of that too. I like looking for little details in trees and stuff like that. I find it's really interesting. Yeah, so again, checking the camera, even though there's no screen for me to check out. Wow, look at that light, it's just stunning. And I'm really hoping that this thing exposes, because the other thing as well with this camera, you can't like change, there's no, I don't think there is a menu setting. Like I tried to look up the manual on how you change the date. You like hold down the function button and then you like rotate the dial and stuff. It's like, I get it's meant to be as like analog as possible, but it does make it a little bit annoying to use. Although I suppose if you just treat it like a film camera and you don't, this can't shoot JPEG, there's no film simulations and none of that stuff. It's just raw, you get what you get. And I think that's really cool. I think that's really, really interesting. It's a this is the ultimate like purist camera. The ultimate purist camera for sure. Right now, we're starting to get to sunset. We've got some really beautiful light in the distance as well. I think these shots are gonna look really, really good if they turn out right. I think I'm gonna go grab that 50 though, and just take some like nice sort of golden hour photos with the 50. Okay, so I got the 50 once again, the 51.4, the Canon one. I kind of like a bit more of a telephoto to get more of a compression for landscapes. This is the longest M-mount lens that I have though, so this is what we're gonna be using. Probably a 5.6 should be all right, and yeah, let's take some photos. There is just something about a 50mm that's so bloody nice to use. Okay, so I think we're gonna try and find one more spot to go take some photos before it gets perfectly dark, or like way too dark, because I think we've probably had enough of this lookout. So, one more look at the view, and wow, those clouds look so beautiful. And yeah, let's go see if we can find some more nice things to take photos of around here. I sure don't think it'll be that hard. Okay, so we just drove up a little bit and we found this new, like just these little outcrop of trees over here, which I think will look really, really nice. We don't have a lot of light left, so I was kind of like, I don't want to go too far, but let's take some photos. And I feel like with a 28mm, you kind of want to go down a little bit lower down in order to get those like interesting exaggerated angles and stuff. There's also a really beautiful sky just over there, so we'll whack it up to like f4. Yeah, nice. And I feel like with a 28mm, you can also do like really cool environmental portraits. So we're going to try to do that as well with the Thigh. Beautiful. Oh, it looks fantastic. Look at that. Stunning. Go to f2. Kind of try to blow that background out a little bit. The sun right now is quite nice. Yeah, beautiful. And just to add to the whole like film analog nature, the way you access your SD card and your battery is just like any other M body. Under the bottom like this, it comes off, and then you've got your SD card and your absolutely gigantic battery. I mean, let me show you how big this thing is. It's huge. It is a 1800 milliamp hour battery. John actually told me that this battery is like, he's charged, he literally hasn't charged it since buying it, and it was like at 65% when I got it. So the battery life on this is definitely probably the best out of any digital camera, given the fact that it has no screens or EVFs or anything. In fact, the only light that's on it is the one inside the viewfinder that gives you the light meter and stuff, and then also the light on the back here. There's one here just for progress and stuff. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. It's a very, very cool camera. Very, very rare, very, very unique camera. I'm super, super grateful that I had the opportunity to shoot with this and take it out to such a beautiful location to take photos with. But would I personally buy one? Maybe if I won the lottery. Oh, it's so cold. You can see my like, it's fucking freezing.
So now that I'm back home in my warm apartment, I'd just like to talk a little bit about the shooting experience with the M-D and have a look at the raw files too. So One of the biggest things with film is just how much latitude it has. You can comfortably overexpose lots of film, 2 to 3 stops, and it is totally a non-issue. But with digital sensors, you do need to be a little bit more cautious as you can't really recover that much detail. Now, thankfully, modern sensors are getting better and better at this, and with the M-D, the RAWs have a fair bit of flexibility actually. Compared to the M8 and the M9, the dynamic range in this camera, given it's from 2016, is actually really, really good, which is amazing because my dumbass decided to set this camera to shoot in auto shutter.
And one thing I noticed was I think keeping it in the auto shutter priority is probably the best way to go.
Because I just felt like it was an easy way to just let the camera do its, just do the work for you. And especially when you don't have a screen to review it, you kind of just want as little variables as possible. So set it to auto, and then I just adjusted the aperture and the ISO as I saw fit. But the issue with doing this on a camera with no screen is that I actually have no idea what the camera was metering for. And surprise, it was actually metering for the sky, and subsequently my entire foreground was so dark and underexposed in so many of my landscape shots, which was a little bit frustrating at first. And obviously if this had a screen on the back, I could have, known straight away and turned it to manual and exposed it properly. But if we jump onto Lightroom real quick, let me show you how easy it is to actually bring the file back if you happen to have one of these cameras and you also set it to auto. All right, so welcome to Lightroom, and we're going to look through some of these raw files from the Leica M-D, and I just wanted to show you. So this, as you can see, is very, very underexposed. It obviously exposed to the sky, and on the M8, for example, or the M9, a file this underexposed would be pretty hard to bring back. But what we can actually do, as you can see, if we bring up the exposure a little bit, you'll notice that obviously your shadows are still well retained, and you still got plenty of detail here, and the sky is also not too bad at all. So, and then we can apply one of the presets from my newly released preset pack, which I'm really, really excited for you guys to check out because this has been in development for a little while, and it's got 6 presets in it. So you've got effortless, effortless light, night walker, nostalgia, timeless, and tropical. So a typical workflow for an image like this, you would be, and obviously the preset's gonna be a little bit dark because it's the exposure. We need to bring it back up again. So we apply a preset and we bring it back up. Maybe rotate it a little bit. And that already looks pretty good. Like, I quite like the way that looks. As you can see, and then the sky, you still got quite a lot of detail in the sky too. So that's kind of what's good about this camera. And I think it's great that at least the sensor has a little bit of flexibility, because even if you do underexpose the image, it's not the end of the world. Here's another one that we've got. So again, beautiful sky, but really, really underexposed foreground. Throw another preset on, effortless light, bring it back up again, just a little bit. And then maybe just bring down the shadows just a little bit more, just to give it more contrast. Just a little bit there. And then maybe if we want to emphasize the purples in the sky there, we can actually just add a little bit of purple into the white balance as well. And as you can see, that's starting to look really nice. And then for photos like this, for example, so this is where you don't really need to, this is where the exposure will like bang on. Nice and sharp. That Dipoxo mirror is a great lens. So throw that either effortless or effortless light. So the difference between them, effortless is more, a little bit more punchy, whereas effortless light will have just a little bit less contrast. So it just depends on the situation and what you're trying to do. I think maybe for this image, effortless might look nicer. So we'll bring that up. And then like if we look at like this photo of Rebecca, right? That's raw file, no edits. And then if we throw like, there we go. Look at that. Look how good that looks. So this preset pack is now available. Link is in the description. Super excited for you guys to check it out. Hopefully you guys like it, and really excited to see what kind of photos you can make with it. This has been in development for a little while, and yeah, I'm really, really excited to share it with you guys. So, and then this one here as well. So this is as you can see the different presets. Nostalgia is really cool as well. Nostalgia kind of gives you more of like it's got more purples in the shadows. So it gives you that kind of old expired film kind of look, which I think is really nice too. So definitely like there's a lot more, this kind of builds on the first preset pack that I released. And there's a lot more, a little bit more variety, a little bit more sort of experimental presets with this one. Timeless is a really nice black and white as well. But I think for this one, we'll go effortless light and then boost the exposure just a little bit. And as you can see, I reckon that's a pretty damn good image. And yeah, so as you can see, files with the M-D, thankfully, are actually, the raw files themselves are thankfully quite flexible. And they've got quite a lot of resolution in them and quite a lot of dynamic range. Now, despite the annoyances with metering, I did actually really enjoy shooting with the M-D 262. It's unlike any other digital camera I've ever used because it really gives you that anticipation feeling you get with film. Like, you know, you're on a shoot, you're like, oh, I can't wait to come home, pop the SD card and see what the photos look like. And because the battery lasts seemingly forever, like I have no idea. I honestly don't even know how many shots you could get on a charge of this thing. I think it could be a few thousand, maybe even more. It's, you know, it really adds that whole, like, you don't really think about the photos, like you're not really thinking in the moment, you're kind of just like taking shots and then you check later. And it's a real, like, you know, slowed down approach to photography that the M-D has really clearly tried to take. Perhaps if it wasn't so excruciatingly rare and expensive, I could recommend it to people who want a unique camera and shooting experience. But as it stands, this is a camera for the wealthy who want something that is unique, rare, and special. And maybe even an investment, because I know this thing has actually gone up in value quite a bit since it came out. But for everyone else, just flip your screen around and resist the urge to peek. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.